Hello and welcome to the fall 2018 semester at Pierce College. More specifically, welcome to Philosophy 6 Online. This course, entitled Logic in Practice, is a critical thinking course, and I'll tell you a little bit about what's involved in that shortly. But first, let me introduce myself. My name is Mia Wood. I'm a professor of philosophy in the Philosophy and Sociology Department at Pierce College. I'm really looking forward to working with you. What I'd like to do right now is take a few minutes to show you a bit, to show you around. Sorry, I'm trying to be efficient, so I end up like speaking too fast, and then I stumble over my words, and then I take too long. As a result, I'm going to slow down a little bit. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you around Canvas. I want to show you how we are using Canvas. So, you may be taking other online courses. Maybe the courses are laid out similarly or very differently from our course. I want you to know what our course looks like so that you understand the terrain, you find it easy to navigate. Then I'll take a little bit of time to walk you through the course details, and then it'll be time to get started. So let's go ahead and jump on Canvas. I'm going to assume that you're comfortable logging in to the through the student information portal or through the Pierce Online portal. But let's go ahead and jump to our Canvas homepage. Or actually, I'll go to the dashboard, and then you can see the icon that's associated with our course so that you'll know what to look for. All right, so I've logged into Canvas. As you can see, there's an important announcement from the Pierce Online office, the Distance Ed office at Pierce College. You'll want to scroll past that once you've read through it. And obviously what you'll see on your dashboard is a little bit different from what I see on mine, but we're logged into my account, so that's why you're seeing all of my courses. But what's of interest to us is the powerlifting brain. That is what we're going to be doing all semester in our critical thinking course, which is Philosophy 6, Logic and Practice. The section number is 17222. So let's go ahead and click on this link so that we can go to our homepage. So some of what you see here is what you will see regardless of which Canvas course, Pierce Canvas course you're looking at. On the far left, there are buttons that will be consistent regardless of which course you're in. For our purposes, I'd like to direct your attention to the inbox. You and I are going to probably do a lot of communicating through the Canvas email program, so be sure that you're conversant with that. We will also converse via Skype, and if you're on campus, I would certainly love to meet you. Come to my office hours. If you can't make office hours, we can set up another time to meet. But one of the nice things about Skype is that if our schedules don't permit a face-to-face meeting, or if our locations don't permit a face-to-face meeting, we can still have a really good meeting and see each other and show each other work by using this video conference tool. I'll get to that more of that in a little bit. So what you're seeing in the next column over is a series of links that are specific to our site. So the way I've got our course laid out is as follows. There's the home button at the top. We're on our home page right now, and you'll notice that the course is laid out in modules week by week. Okay, so more about that in a moment. Next link is our syllabus link, then our discussions link, quizzes, assignments, grades, your classmates, another tool that we can use, which is a video conferencing tool called Confer, and that's something that we can I can set up for us to use if, for example, if several people want to meet together. And then two really important links, your library link and Office 365. So Office 365 will have will give you access to Microsoft Word and other Microsoft Office programs, as well as Skype. So if you don't have Skype, like I have Skype on my laptop, I have Skype on my phone and on my tablet, I use it a fair amount. But if you don't have it on one of your devices, you can access it through Office 365. All right, so let's start by walking through the way that the homepage is laid out. As I mentioned a moment ago, everything is laid out week by week. So week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, and so forth. Notice that each week follows the same pattern. There is stuff for you to read, watch, and complete. So let's start with week 1. The way that the modules are laid out is each week there's something to read, something to watch, something to complete. Now, you'll notice here that I have not yet made these videos available, but I will. They'll be available shortly, not to worry. And that's either because I'm remaking a video, I'm tweaking a video, or I'm making a brand new video. Or I just have not linked the existing video to this site yet. But for our purposes right now, I'd like you to just notice that we've got stuff to read, stuff to watch, stuff to complete. And the idea is that, your readings are going to be the same as they would be in a face-to-face class. The watching, that is watching videos, is a stand-in for a face-to-face tutorial, a face-to-face workshop, a face-to-face lecture. And then the stuff to complete is going to be the same as stuff you would complete for a face-to-face class. Again, details on that later. Now you can navigate to the next week either by clicking the next button, or you can go back to the home page and click on week 2. Let's go ahead and click on next, though, since we're in this window already. And here again, read, watch, complete. Read, watch, complete. Let's scroll down. So I'm going to go back out to the home page. Let's scroll down, I don't know, to week 9. And once again, read, watch, complete, right? So don't be worried in this video, or don't be worried by the fact that in this video you're not seeing certain links. That's only because I just haven't made them available yet, but I will, right? They'll be available in plenty of time so that when you get to the week in question, all the material will be available to you, right? So everything lays out the same, read, watch, complete. Now, let me tell you a bit about what you're reading, what you're watching, what you're completing, by way of going to the syllabus. So the syllabus you can find, sorry, let me rephrase that. A complete copy of our syllabus, a PDF, can be found by downloading, clicking on this link to download. You can also read a complete copy inline, that is within the window. The sort of contractual part of the syllabus is here on this page, as well as an overview of the schedule, right? Again, read, watch, complete, read, watch, complete each week, right? So what exactly are we going to be doing? What are we reading? What are we watching? What are we completing? Well, we're reading a textbook that is free. So I have put together a textbook. I provide you links to each of the chapters. That each link actually will be within a certain module. So for example, week number 1, we're working on chapter 1. You'll have a link to chapter 1 that's available to you. So it's free. There's nothing for you to buy. Okay, textbooks are expensive enough as is, and it seems to me that trying to provide you with the same material that you would get in a textbook that you would purchase makes a whole lot of sense, right? So provide the material for free that you would otherwise have to buy. So our textbook is going to be available online. What are we going to do? Well, we don't actually have a class meeting, right? As you know, there are due dates for things, and the week, you basically have a week to complete whatever it is that's assigned. So from midnight on Monday through 11:59 p.m. that Sunday, the following Sunday, you can complete work when you want. Now, the work that you're going to complete will be discussion forums, quizzes, exams, and a short paper draft and revision. The short paper draft and revision occurs later in the semester. There will be a video tutorial on that. For right now, let's focus on discussion forums, quizzes, and exams. So discussion forums are open all week. You want to complete your original post on Thursday. So it's not the case that you have a discussion to complete each week, but when you do have a discussion, your original post is due on Thursday, and your follow-up, your peer response or your peer reply is due on Sunday. Instructions are found for both parts, and I'll show you those in just a moment. Quizzes are reading quizzes to make sure that you're engaging with the text, to make sure that you're engaging with concepts and skills that we want to develop in this course. Those are taken on Canvas. You can take them anytime during the week that they're assigned, that one is assigned, but once you open a quiz, you must complete it in one sitting, okay? My advice is set aside time to complete the quiz, have your text with you. You might want to have your text in another window, or if you have a tablet or a phone or whatever, have your text ready so that you can look up answers. Exams are going to be effectively like extended quizzes. There are skills that I'm going to ask you to complete, to perform in such a way that the answers that you choose on the exams reflect that you know how to work a given skill. So there are 4 exams, and those cover concepts and skills that you've read about and that you've watched in videos. And then, as I mentioned before, you're going to write a short paper, a draft, and then I provide feedback, and then there's a revision. So that's it as far as what we're doing in this course. There's other helpful information, at least I hope it's helpful, in the syllabus, and then, like I said, you can scroll through to look at each of the weeks, what's going to be due, what you're going to want to complete. And then at the bottom, this is a standard layout that Canvas creates. I can't control this. When assignments are created, they're listed here at the bottom of this syllabus page. All right, so if you want to go through your schedule to find a given assignment, you can do that. You can also always click on the discussions link, and you'll see what discussions there are, right? So there's an extra credit forum, then 1, 2, 3, 4, and so forth, right? So you'll notice that the discussion forum is not available until a certain time. I will show you what that looks like by way of getting out of the student view so that you can see what I see, and that will look pretty much like what you'll see when this forum is available. But basically, once the forum's available, all the instructions and the field for you to enter your post will be available. Quizzes, basically the same thing. When there is a quiz that's available, you click on the link and you'll see the instructions. But you'll notice here, when you click on the link, you get some information, right? When the thing is due, how long, what the time frame is for its availability, the number of points, the number of exercises, and the time you have to complete the thing. Now, let me point out that with each of the quizzes, you will have 60 minutes and typically 10 to 15 to 20 exercises. More typically, it's going to be 10 exercises. In a couple of cases, maybe 15, maybe 20, right? But you'll always have at least an hour to complete your quizzes. And then, of course, under assignments, you'll see everything, right? You'll see the discussion forums, quizzes, and then you should also see, although, hold on just a sec, your short paper. So I'm going to reorganize this a little bit. I don't know why this is not quite as clearly organized as should be, but I'll see if I can fix that up for you. All right, let's go back to our home page. Now, obviously, the video that you're watching is found under this link, Welcome to Philosophy 6, so I won't click there. Let me go under week number 1. Notice that under complete, there is a link. So if something is due, a quiz is due, right? Or let's say a discussion is due, there's a link within the page for the given week you're working, right? In addition, if you scroll back up, remember my comment about the videos, links for those will be available. They'll be on YouTube, and you can also watch them within the Canvas page that you're on, so you don't even actually have to go to YouTube if you don't want to. But you'll notice that you can either download Chapter 1 of our textbook. Alternatively, you can open the textbook within the page, and you'll see the chapter table of contents, right? So what we're doing for the first week is we're looking at specific sections, right? So, or sorry, this was week 2. So that means you're looking at sections 2 and 3. If we go to week number 1, once again, we're doing chapter 1, section 1, but the whole chapter is available to you. So even if we're working on just a section or a portion of a section, I'll link the whole text, or sorry, rephrase, I'll link the whole chapter, and then you can scroll to where you want in order to read what there is to read. Now, one thing that I haven't shown you, but that will be available, is a workbook and answer keys. So it's really important that you spend time practicing in this course. This is a skills-based course. Skills are developed through exercising them. Understanding concepts is grasped most often by employing the concept. So I have exercise sets for each of the relevant, let me rephrase that. I have exercise sets that are relevant to specific parts of a given chapter. So when you open up the chapter 1 exercises, you'll see a PDF. You could download that, print it, and download, print, and handwrite your answers. That's always a good idea. And then you can check your work. Let me minimize this. You can check your work with the answer key and discussion document, which is tied to chapter 1. So this is going to take a little while to load because there's a lot more material here. But the basic idea is this. I'm going to go ahead and open up the Chapter 1 window again. And I'm going to scroll down until I see in bold instructions. Please go to exercise set 1 in the workbook for exercises related to this material. That is the material that you just worked through, that you just read about. So there are exercise sets that are numbered and they're tagged to specific parts of the textbook, so that if you want to practice before you move on to the next subsection of the text, you can do that, right? So exercise set 1. Now, if we open up the Chapter 1 exercises, here are the exercises in exercise set 1, and so forth. This goes on throughout the text. And then, as I mentioned before, the answer key and discussion document is considerably longer, so it just takes a while to load, at least on my end, probably because my Wi-Fi connection isn't all that great. But in any event, you can work practice, check your work, and that will give you, I hope, a lot of confidence as you go into a given reading quiz, discussion forum, or exam. Okay? So, what are we doing? We are reading, watching videos, completing something each week, whether it's just practice or it's a quiz, an exam, a discussion post, right? There are 10 quizzes, 10 discussion forums. Each discussion forum involves an original post and a reply or response, right? There are 4 exams. So, you're working throughout the semester. And it's really important that you stay engaged because it's easy to kind of fall behind. If you feel like you're getting lost, if you're confused for any reason, please connect with me. Do not wait. All right, now let me tell you a little bit of what's involved in this course. So this is a standard critical thinking course, and what is meant by that is the following. Rather than, let's say, taking a critical thinking course that's specific to, psychology, or that's specific to physics or biology, this is a course that develops skills that you take with you wherever you go. So it doesn't matter whether you're, an English literature major, a Russian literature major, you want to study the poet Rumi, or you are going to be a mechanical engineer. I mean, really doesn't matter what your interests are. You are going to employ reasoning skills that we study in this class. So this class is a skills-based course where the skills are applicable no matter what you do. So there's a sense in which this is a course that doesn't really have a subject, right? I mean, the subject is reasoning, but it's not reasoning about this or that particular content. Now, we do divide our course in the following way. There's reasoning that involves experience, such as when you take an aspirin because you have a headache. Why do you take the aspirin because you have the headache? Well, take the aspirin, because it's worked before. Well, how do you know it's the aspirin that works? Well, you're told that it works, right? You've inherited the wisdom of people who have done the research and have come to the conclusion that, this particular drug is a painkiller, right? So, you infer from what you are told, or you infer from, so told by, let's say, experts, by doctors, for example, you infer from your past experience that, taking the aspirin helps your headache, right? So that's one way you reason. You reason in and through experience. But you can also reason without experience. And what I mean by that is it's simply by thinking your way through the type of concept or relations of concepts that will get you to a particular answer, that will get you to solve a particular problem, that will lead you to a particular conclusion. Let me give you an example of what I mean.
Hey, Grandma, you were born here like we were, right, Grandma? Hey, Grandma, how come you never talk about Wisconsin? Wisconsin. I told you not to ask her that. Grandma?
Great cheese comes from happy cows. Happy cows come from California.
All right, so remember, great cheese comes from happy cows. Happy cows come from California. Commercial ends. But notice what your mind wants to do, right? If it's true that great cheese comes from happy cows, and it's also true that happy cows come from California, it follows that great cheese comes from California. Don't believe me? Well, let's write it out. Okay, so I've typed out the tagline for the California cheese commercial. Great cheese comes from happy cows come from California. And I propose to you that if these two sentences are true, it follows that great cheese comes from California. We don't need to know anything about great cheese, happy cows, or California in order to see that if these two sentences are true, the relationship between great cheese and happy cows gets transferred over to California. Notice that happy cows offers us a sort of transitive relationship. The term happy cows falls out in the inference. So we don't need, as I mentioned before, any kind of knowledge of or direct experience or even indirect experience with great cheese, happy cows, or California in order to recognize that the assumed truth of these two statements forces the third. So what we're saying here is that just by an act of pure reasoning, what I mean by that is without experience about, or with, sorry, great cheese, happy cows, or California, we're able to draw the inference. The relationship between the terms, the organization of the elements in the reasoning is what yields the inference, great cheese comes from California. So one of the things that we want to understand is what it is that makes this sort of inference as good as it is, right, in more technical terms. We want to understand how we can take any argument that is that matches up with a certain sort of form of reasoning and show what follows from it, and we use rules to do that. So, as you can see from that example, and as you heard me tell you about the experiential type of reasoning, we're going to study two modes of reasoning, right? Experiential reasoning and non-experiential reasoning. One, the former, is called inductive, the latter is called deductive, and we'll look at how reasoning goes well, how reasoning does not go well, and how we can tell the difference. So the first part of our course is going to be devoted to the fundamentals of reasoning, namely the language that we use when we reason, Then we're going to move into studying the non-experiential type of reasoning. Let me jump back over to the syllabus real quick so I can scroll through and kind of give you a little bit of a visual of what we're talking about here. So the first part of the course is going to involve a focus on language. And that's to set us up for understanding how language is used in argument. Then we're going to look at the basics of arguments, how we can evaluate arguments. Then we're going to break off to look at two versions of or two systems of non-experiential reasoning. That's what's going on with categorical logic and natural deduction. Then we'll move into looking at two types of experiential reasoning, analogical and causal reasoning, with an eye toward causal reasoning in in scientific endeavors. And then we will round out the class by spending a few weeks talking about how experiential reasoning goes bad. So in a nutshell, that's what we'll be spending our time doing this semester. If it doesn't make sense to you right now, don't worry. We've just started, right? In fact, we haven't really technically started insofar as we haven't started working on any material. So it's always hard when you're just starting, especially when you're getting this overview, because you don't know the terrain, so you don't really know what to think about the language that you're hearing. But be patient, hang in there, and things will become clearer as we go forward. Just know for right now that each week, right, we're going to have something to read, watch, and complete, right? So be ready to be working on material every week, whether you're taking a quiz or you're taking an exam or you are writing a discussion post or you are preparing for the short paper or you're working exercises as practice. You'll always be doing something. And anytime you need help, please, please, please let me know. Don't wait. Contact me before it's too late. I hope this video helped acclimate you to Canvas, more specifically the way we're using Canvas for our course. And I hope also that you got a little bit of an idea of what we're going to be doing, although that's going to be coming very shortly in the next video. More specifically though, I hope that you got an idea of what we're going to do in terms of assessments, right? So the quizzes, the reading quizzes rather, the discussion posts, the exams, and the short paper. Of course, if you have questions, let me know. I want to hear from you, and I'll of course be in touch with you as the semester proceeds. Talk to you soon.